Big O.
Hey.
Hey, O. Man, you tricked me, man. For all these years you been wearing a hat, I thought you was bald headed, man. This man got a full head of hair.
And brush it back.
And brush it back and wavy. And 2 gray hairs since 53 years old, man.
You tricked us all, man.
I look like Santa Claus over here compared to old, man.
You tricked us all, man.
He didn't trick the shit out of me, man.
You showed us tricked us, man.
Hey, Bill, what's happening, homie?
Man, just chilling, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace, love, good hair. Good health and Black Power. I messed it up, but I ain't starting over.
Good head, Black Power, good.
Yeah, whatever. My man O hit me up early this morning. He said, man, we got to talk about this Chris Rock, Will Smith stuff. And so, man, that's what would you say? The slap heard around the world?
Man, the slap, they call it the slap that was heard around the world.
Yeah, Chad. And so, man, you want to start it up?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of layers to this thing.
There's layers, man.
There's layers all over this joint, man.
It is. Just my personal feelings about it.
Okay.
I don't think what Will did was right. But I'm also I'm not pissed off at Will. One of the things I hear about people are saying, well, he made us look bad from the white people.
Okay.
Right? Who cares what they think?
Yeah, we're not concerned about white people.
Who cares?
Yeah. Okay, I go with that.
You know what I mean? Like Kareem wrote some stuff and saying,
Yeah. I read the article. Yeah.
So a lot of that article to me was a stretch.
Yeah.
Because he linked it to the LGBTQ community and to more.
Yeah.
At this point, for me, man, my own personal feelings are I'm pro-black. I just want these 2 black men to fix this situation.
Right.
And I'm just patiently waiting for it to die out.
Okay.
That's where I sit with it. I don't really have anything bad to say about Will. I will say though, my hat's off to Chris Rock because your man handled that. You couldn't have handled that situation any better.
Yeah.
Professionally, you couldn't have handled it any better. That nigga get 2 A+.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they've been friends for a long time.
Right.
I think they figure out a way to
get it back together.
And in the meantime, all the people who don't have anything else to talk about, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. That's it.
Man.
There's other parts, but let's
okay,
we're
gonna
some
back
parts,
to
some parts, be some layers.
Okay.
Man, I thought I felt so embarrassed. Not as much for Chris because he took it like a champ and barely moved, but Will, man, it was just embarrassing. Like this, and he walked over smirk like he did something, man. First, I thought it was weak to do that, to run up on somebody at a big event like that because nobody's expecting it. It was weak. Man, I just thought that it's just a reflection of. I'm just thinking it was a reflection of just breaking down how the whole situation with his wife and the other dude and entanglement, and not only that, I think that people talk about that, but I just think that's just a thin layer or one. You know that I say, but my man Mos Def got a quote. He said, "You know why the one straw broke the camel's back because there are a million other ones under that." And so I think that's what it was that because their lifestyle got kind of put it on the front street, and I think they made it worse by having these table talks and talking about it. They made it worse, but then a lot of things came out about a lot of people saying they've been doing this for years. And I think
so. When you say doing this, what you mean doing this? Doing what?
Have an open relationship.
Okay.
So
that's speculation.
Yeah, that's speculation.
But you keep hearing it over and over and over.
If you keep hearing over and over and over, and then he kind of alluded kind of to it, like we do our thing. But then if they didn't say nothing about the situation with his wife and the other dude, then everybody will have a speculation. But it came out, confirmed it, and now it kind of confirmed what he said. The dude said Will was good with it, right? And so what that did was open up a lot of stuff about them having an open relationship. Some things people talk about that Will is, his sexuality goes both ways. And I think a lot of that stress, a lot of that that stress, it came down on him, and he, I feel like he felt emasculated, and he had to feel like, and then always being a nice guy, always, you know. And I just feel like I think one that his lady, now that I've seen a little bit of the interviews, his lady's a more seasoned than he is, and so to me it seemed like she I don't want to say I hate to say run the show, but it's like she's more advanced than him, and he's trying to play catch up with somebody who's a little bit more advanced than him, and he felt like he had to be manly and make that move. But I thought it was a weak move, man. I feel bad. Like I said, I feel bad for him, man. He's breaking down, and it goes to show you the importance of having a balance. Like I always bring it back to spirituality, man. Like, you know, the marriage, from my understanding, marriage is an institution, a spiritual institution, not just an institution under the law of the government, but it's an institution that is spiritual in nature, right? And I think when people tried all different type of stuff to do things to kind of fulfill all the needs that they feel like they need. But once that spiritual institution is shaken, it just shows like how I think his is an example of the breakdown of that institution and playing around with you know, the parameters of what that institution represents. So that's just a little bit of it. But go ahead.
Now, so I wanted to ask y'all a couple of things I noticed. Neil, what do you think about the Oscar security? Because to me, like, I done been to McDonald's and see dudes get in a fight and get banned.
That's true.
Just regular stuff.
Yeah, you been, yeah.
And so, what you think about him smacking this dude? Security don't do nothing. Then he get to go sit back down and then get the award. That was confusing to me. Do y'all have any?
Yeah, that is confusing. I think they were shocked and didn't respond properly.
Yeah, when I smack somebody, they be shocked too, but they still lock my ass up. Chip, you ain't gonna trick me like that. So do you think it was just him, Will Smith, and being all, you know, having his money and it's just?
I don't think it's the money, because all the people at the Oscars got money. The people who sit at the board, they got papers, so his money can't really affect them. I just think they just handled it incorrectly. I don't know if they felt like because it was black people, black males, they felt sensitive about security coming out and taking another black male out because of the climate we living in. I don't know. I wish they would have took him away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they already knew that he was going to win the award.
Mm-hmm.
And because he'd already won it, even though it was still to come, if you remove him, then that leaves a gap in the show. And as far as the programming and the production of the show, how would you then handle that? And I don't think they had a plan for that. So I think they just let it go on as planned, and then they would just handle it later. That's what they are.
You intelligent, full hair. That makes sense, because I'm trying, but that make all the sense in the world. That make all the sense in the world, man. Y'all gonna mess up, so that make a lot of sense.
Yeah, because it's a timing, I guess.
Yeah. You
don't have a plan for that.
Yeah, there's no way you can plan.
There's no way you're gonna know
the
that
dude's gonna win the best.
But the thing is, my thing is that's good though. But a lot of times when somebody the person ain't there for the Oscar, somebody else come and take the Oscar for him.
But they had, like he's saying, it's a plan.
But they already know that that's going to happen. They already know that that person's not there.
Yeah. And so, I got a couple of things I want to run past you, because a lot of women was happy with this thing, and a lot of black women, and a lot of people were saying, man, he just finished playing the role of Serena and them father, Richard. You think he was still in character?
I don't believe that. No.
Did he kill Cooley? No. That won't fly?
No, I don't think that.
I think he was a character.
I read a guy. There was a guy I read. He said he felt like, because of what you alluded to earlier and the conversations around their entanglements and all of that, that he felt like that. This is this other person's feelings, that because she cheated, because they had the affair and all this kind of stuff, that it's some way Will felt like he had to make a move at that moment, a strong move. Otherwise, this would be, if you don't, in your weakness and not acting, this is why I cheated.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't do anything,
right,
then later on the conversation is you didn't stand up for me, you didn't blah blah blah, and this is why. And he acted out of that, not, you know what I mean, trying to avoid what might happen when he gets home.
I can go with that. I can go with that.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, it seems like they've been doing this for a minute though.
Here's what I think this guy's saying is, so
maybe the perception,
the where he's coming from is that Jada has broke Will down to a point where
emasculated.
He's been emasculated to a point where he responds in certain situations in ways that he wouldn't normally respond.
Most definitely.
Because he's confused. He's afraid to either look a certain way or not look a certain way based on how their relationship. Because everything,
her emotions,
right? Everything now, because in terms of all the stuff that's been talked about at the table, as makes him look a certain way as a man. So now, he felt like he had to do something,
right?
And it had to be a strong action in order to, you know what I mean? I think that's where a lot of people are coming from. I've heard where people are like, well, the entire thing is Jada's fault. I just think that's
it's not.
That's incredible. Hey, man, to me, that has no merit. That's
anytime
BS.
Every man is responsible and or woman for their own actions. Man.
I agree with that.
That's period.
I agree with that.
And so I want to ask you guys. I want to run this past you. I want to ask you not about how the white people look at us, but do you think Will could have did the same thing if he would have smacked like a Jim Carrey or Robert De Niro or a white person, basically a white person? Do you think he could have got away with the same thing?
No, because the white person was press charges immediately.
Yeah.
Chris didn't press charges.
Right.
Chris was cool with it. He was like, of course he wasn't cool with it, but he didn't want to erupt no more. But a white person would have pressed charges immediately. They said the police came backstage and asked him, hey, what you want us to do? Yeah. We can carry this joke out here right now. He said, nah.
Yeah.
Man, them jokers, they not into all that. Like, yeah, nah. They'd have called police on him. Not only that, they'd have sued him for half whatever he got and everything.
Right.
No, it went down the same.
Okay. I don't think he'd have smacked a white person personally.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just don't think he would have.
I'm with you.
And for some reason, I think we will do things to each other that we won't do to them.
I'm with you. And to piggyback on what you said, man, Chris Rock weighed 150 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, he's a
man. 50 Cent stay on his, but he ain't gonna fuck with 50 Cent, The Rock, and none of them dudes.
Somebody said, why ain't he messing the real Rock? Yeah. That's why he looks so.
That's why he looks so weak.
So weak, man.
It's just like a joke.
And you see how he walked off?
Yeah.
And was smirking.
And like then he hollered, "Keep on, man, shut your bitch ass."
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
He broke, man.
Yeah.
And what's funny, man, I remember at one time he was like an inspirational, motivational joker talking about how I die on the treadmill and how I work hard. And now it just, man, he lost all that in one go.
So we done kind of hinted around it a little bit, but man, we got to talk about this August thing. And so you guys don't think that had an effect on the burnings, or you think it do?
On the what?
On what happened with the smack?
Oh yeah. He really wanted to smack Jada. Excuse me. That's what they call. What they call that? It's a psychological thing when a man go to work and his boss bully him and kick him in his butt and tell him like he ain't nothing, and he go home and beat his wife.
Yeah.
That's to me is the same psychology that happened. Instead of him, and of course he shouldn't have hit Jada or Augustine.
Or Chris Rock.
Yeah. But that anger was really a manifestation of who he really wanted to hit.
Right.
And maybe Tupac too, he wanted to slap.
Do you think? What you think? Oh, before I go in on what you think about this?
I think a lot of what's going on in their marriage and all the stuff that's out in the open and how that has made him look.
I'm going with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier. I think I think he felt like in this moment he had to do something. And it's an obvious overreaction.
Right.
Like I mean, you know what I mean? It's a huge overreaction, but I feel like and I'm not even sure. And someone said to me, she said, I'm not even sure that he knew what he was going to do when he got up there.
Right.
Like he went to do something, and then when he got there, that's what he did.
Right.
That's a complete probability.
Right.
I just think he just should have stayed in his seat, and if he felt like he had something to say, especially since they all know each other so well, just said something backstage or at the after party or.
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
I so agree, but and so when the August thing came out, man, I don't know, you familiar with, I know Neil, but you familiar with the word simp?
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, him, for the last couple of years, him and Russell Westbrook been known as the biggest simps. And I think
Russell Westbrook, what do you do?
You know,
not Russell Westbrook. You mean Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson, the football player.
They
Sierra. Yeah.
What he do?
Man, you know. Man. Okay. But anyway, and so, man, they just been teasing this guy and messing with him to the point where, you know, initially it might have been about Jada, but then it started being about, man, I got to show these dudes that I'm a man and this and that. And all this just speculation, but I know for myself, you know, if the whole, because, you know, the thing about celebrities, you know, it's an up and a down. Like, you want the whole world to watch you, but now the whole world in your business, your family, your kids, your this and that,
a lot
and
of
you
that
can't
stuff,
cut it off.
Yeah, a lot of that is on them, though.
A lot of it is on them.
They are the ones who brought
all
of this stuff to the table.
That table talk was the worst.
Jada brought a lot of this stuff to the table and talked about all of this stuff out in the open, and so,
But did that go back to making it simple? Because if my wife go out and have sex with somebody, and I find out about it, and I'm not saying, hey man, I'm just going to not mess with, because we might go to counseling and try to work through this and that. But if she tell me, hey, I want you to get on YouTube and talk about how I fucked this other nigga, I'm going to smack the shit out of her for asking me. Hold up. You want me to do what? Tell me.
Hold on, man. Hold on. We do not condone violence.
Nah, man. And so, man, for him to even go to do some stuff, it's just a weak dude, man.
Yeah.
That's
something I never thought about.
Hey, Tim, did you get a chance to see the table talk?
I saw it. At this point, like, just their marriage in general, I think this dude is, like, so in love with this woman.
Man.
Like, there's a lot of people, like, said, you know, he was a simp for smacking Chris.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that part entirely because, like, you don't, I don't agree with that part.
Do you think Chris was wrong at all?
I don't really.
I think he was wrong for smacking Chris because, man, you've been to a comedy show.
When a comedian is on the microphone, everybody within his line of sight
can get it.
Man,
can get it.
I seen comedians talk about jokers in a wheelchair, jokers with
everybody can get it.
Come on, man.
And then, man, Will Smith is a comedian. He should know the business better than anybody else.
But he laughed.
He laughed.
And he looked at his wife. I think he did laugh initially. And then whatever happened when the camera was off of them.
Nah, they showed it. Because he going to laugh and look at her and she going to be like.
I saw that.
And then he going to get up.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't.
Yeah, I think he is so in love with the woman
Yeah.
at this point that even the stuff that has happened that he doesn't agree with, where he might have responded a certain way, he hasn't, and I think that's like literally like now he's just confused about how to respond about to anything.
It's funny. I don't know about that. I think he's so in love with the image of that they put out there. I don't know because man, it seemed like it seemed like they have an open relationship.
But it's been
a lot of stuff people
was
talk
there.
about.
I think it's been. I mean, at least for a couple years now.
But the image had been destroyed with the for real one even with the Augustine thing. It was with the table talk.
But
that if they didn't say nothing about it, all you had to do was speculate.
Right.
That's all you had to do.
And
everybody would say
anyway.
and people won't do that anyway.
Right.
They didn't say nothing about all you had to do was speculate. Like you said, that's something I never thought about. You gonna get me on television and talk about how I slept with...
Ain't no way.
Not only that, not just any joke, but how I slept with our son's friend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on TV and talk about that.
That type, if you see the Joe, he look like he about...
That's a meme.
Cry.
That's a meme. That's been a meme for a minute.
Yeah,
the look on his face.
Just a look on his face. And then one part that kind of... Because I watched it, and she was like, man, since we on here, I want to clear up everything. Like, I'm going to tell everything, but let's just get this straight. This is my body. So by August saying that Will gave me permission, no, man, I gave her pussy because I want this my pussy. And I would have stole it again. It was just so demeaning.
I wouldn't, for me personally, like at the moment this is happening, I know how I am.
Right.
I know me.
Right.
Love you or not, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hit you.
Man, I think more than anything, he got this brand that
I'm done.
He been promoting this brand to society about him being the perfect dude, they having the perfect marriage, been 25 years. I just think that he's really distraught because they've been doing stuff.
Well, let me throw this in here. I remember younger being younger, and I'm liking this girl, but she liking somebody else. And so I get caught up in trying to compete with this dude and get all off balance, get all mixed up. And then I pull myself back in. And so, man, she let it be known, like, how she liked Tupac. Could it be a thing where he chasing a ghost and Tupac image was this rough dude? Could it be a thing where now he want to be rough to try to be like a... Could we...
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
I think more than I think that his image. I think he's been trying to keep this squeaky. They have this. It's like a what they call it. Somebody told me the good Negro image.
Yeah. Right.
He's been the good Negro so long that his weight on him. He can never talk out. He can never do anything. And I think that he was tired of being that good, goofy, Will Smith, always joking, Fresh Prince, goofy. Because Fresh Prince was like a goofy joker, right?
Yeah. When he was rapping,
he was rapping goofy,
Understand?
So I just think that the way of being the good Negro that make all the money, I think that's another thing that he wanted to break that image. Like, because he walked off like he was proud of himself.
Did something.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead.
I think he's going through a lot of... If you read his book, I read his book.
Right.
Oh, for real? Okay.
He's going through some changes in general.
Right.
Around who he's portrayed himself as, who he really is, and how he's trying to be more authentic. Like there's a part in the book where he's in the gym working out by himself somewhere, and one person walks in.
Mm-hmm.
And wants a picture because you walk in the gym and Will Smith's in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But where he was emotionally at that moment, he just didn't have it in him to take it. Like I just don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. And so he didn't take the picture.
So
the guy asked him a couple different times and he was like, no, I'm not in the headspace for it. He didn't say all that. He just told the guy today's not a good day. Yeah. Right. And the dude, didn't respond well. He didn't say anything like super negative, but he was disappointed.
Right.
Will said when that was over, he went into his hotel room and cried like a baby.
Yeah.
Because he's been so much the guy who put himself out there even when he didn't want to. He did it anyway,
right,
over and over and over again.
Right.
And now he's trying to show who, show
Right.
his real feelings.
Right.
And he's having a conflict around.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I've been this for so many years. I've been the Fresh Prince. I've been Will Smith for so long. But so and if you read his book, he's going through a lot of changes. I think a lot of that is still going on, and this moment happened to happen in the middle of this, and
that makes sense.
You know.
Yeah. And so you kind of alluded to it early, but I wanted to bring in, man, Chris Rock. What you think about Chris Rock? Yeah, I know you say he performed, and he conducted himself. Now I have a really small circle. And for, everybody was like, man, he's a true professional and this and that. And man, I applaud him. But in my circle,
Here we
Will,
go.
If that were you, Will would have got that 2 piece.
What's funny for most people, I heard somebody say this, a lot of people, man, they wouldn't allow him to walk up on him like that. They'd have gotten to a nice little position man, he wouldn't have been able to this. Hold on. What you coming up in?
I don't think Chris was expecting that, though.
That's the thing. He wasn't, like, at the Oscars, you're not expecting, you expect him to come, know. But still, a joker walk up on you, if you familiar with any type of aggressiveness.
But you're not in the street at this moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're not even in the boardroom. You're in public. Like you're at the Oscars. Right. Other than being at the White House.
Right.
Right? Like all etiquette is on the table at this moment. You're not really expecting
I feel you.
For a dude that you've been known for however many years to walk up to you in public in a tux. And smack you. Like you're not expecting that. Because if you he leaned forward what you got, as if what are you gonna say? And that's when he gets smacked. I don't think he's expecting that.
I understand, but it's the way
and he's probably
aggressiveness that he came on stage.
I'm sure he knew that dude was, because he says, here comes, right? I'm sure he felt like he was upset, but what has he got to say?
But even if somebody say, gonna get you in the...
Yeah.
No, Chris Rock says, because
that's what I'm saying.
He sees Will coming.
If you say, that means something happened about to happen.
Because this event is not planned. He doesn't expect, he's and as a comedian, this guy's not supposed to be walking up here. Right. How do you handle that? Like, you got to play it off some kind of way. And the best way, when you're in a situation like that, the best way to handle it is to address it. Don't pretend like he's not coming. You're like, here come Will.
Yeah.
Right? And then after he gets smacked, he doesn't pretend like it didn't happen. He's like, Will Smith just smacked the beep out of me.
Yeah.
He's addressing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I feel you, Chad, but a mother will walk up to me and raise his hands up to God. He didn't give this joke. He gave this joke. And you can see the whole body when he smacked, he turned.
God damn. Yeah. The thing is, and he looked so weak to smack because he did it looked like he was, he did like a joint, like he kind of.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this.
Yeah.
Do you think that by any chance all of this is staged?
No, I don't think it's staged. Okay. And I read an article where Chris say he got a trainer and he been swimming on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to the trainer because, man, that man got a hell of a chin. He got the shit smacked out. He ain't dropped. He ain't move.
Yeah, he ain't move off his square.
Yeah, he ain't lose his composure. Man, we'll smack the shit off me and coming up next. Shout out to his trainer, man. You got that nigga chin and shake, man.
Yeah, man. That's swimming, man.
Yeah. And so And I wanted to ask you, Neil, what you think Jada role was in this?
Man, you just said it. The whole table talk.
Yeah, but
emasculating them.
Okay.
Do you think they talked about this at the table talk at some point?
They talked about it. Oh, the red table talk?
Yeah,
they talked about it.
They did already?
Yeah.
They talked about the smack?
No, not the smack. I'm talking about, just the...
No, I'm talking about, now that they've been smacked, he's retired from the academy.
Yeah.
Like, does Jada decide to sit down with Will and this event becomes
she might
help
her rating?
Do you think?
Yeah, I'm saying. She might. Because, man,
no way
for real,
in the 80s.
Man,
I mean, at this point, talking about that versus with all this other stuff that they've already been transparent about.
This is too much.
This is
too
like
much.
their other stuff is up here.
Yeah.
This is like,
I think so.
This joint is way worse than all the other stuff.
You really smack the nigga worse than fucking your wife? Oh, man, I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta keep my eyes on you. What are you talking about?
No, but what I'm saying, this whole event, because of it, the whole thing with, man, the thing is, everybody keep on saying that his wife, somebody else, it said they were in an open relationship.
Yeah.
That ain't no, man. To me, it's emasculating to be and to let another dude, man. That's not my thing.
So then.
But all that right there, they just trying to make it. To me, that was a public statement and trying to clean his image up. To me, they've been doing that. I saw a table talk. She said that at one time she had a sex addiction and all. Like, come on, man.
If you're in an open relationship,
yeah,
and which means we've already agreed to screw other people, right? Then what is there to have a conversation about?
Yeah,
but that's the thing. They're not.
You follow something like this. But they're doing this. It's no.
But the thing is, they didn't admit to it. They're trying to seem like it was a mistake, and they're trying to counter the narrative of that they had an open relationship.
No, what happened was how the cat got out the bag. Youngin said he was in love with her, and he started talking about it, and so then they started.
They're trying to clean it up.
Yeah,
that's all. He said it. He said, "Will, it's speculation, but if he told the truth about this and they agreed with it, so why ain't he telling the truth about?" He said Will was good with it.
But the initial question was, "Hey, smacking Chris on his hand, if you fuck my wife, I go with the smack."
No, but what I'm saying is that the whole image of him in particular, of his family, like just broke everything down. That whole thing, they could have, if they would have did a table talk, everybody would still be speculating.
Yeah.
Like his lady already, like they already doing that.
Look, my question was, do you think that this event will become...
This event is horrible for you.
Will become a table talk later? Like, will
they
ain't that
address it?
They've been so transparent so far.
I hope they ain't that dumb.
Well, man, I want to share a story with you guys. And it got to do with Jada. And so it's not about Jada, but it got to do with Jada. Because, a long time ago, I was probably about 12 or 13 years old, and one of my father's friends came in the store. He was drunk. And he started telling my mother how he wanted to have sex and grab on her titties. Yay. And she told me, I kind of pushed him, but he kind of grabbed me. Man, sit you. And so I called my brother up, and my brother...
Oh, you was 12, yeah.
Yeah, I was young. Mm-hmm. My brother and two of my brothers, Isaac and Manuel, came down. Isaac came down, and he lived right across the street. So Isaac came down, knocked on the door. As soon as Isaac knocked on the door, he started stabbing him. Right? If you stick with me, he started stabbing him. And later on, my mother, she got on me, and I didn't understand it at the time. But she was like, "Man, didn't I tell you not to tell nobody?" But I was like, "Ma," she was like, "Nah, you shouldn't have told nobody." And so in this whole thing, we keep talking about, and I hear a lot of people talking about it was a man protecting his woman. Mm-hmm. But I want to add that sometimes a woman had to protect this man. Because what I didn't know about this guy, Don, Donnie got locked up in the 60s for killing somebody. He was like 6'6", 350. And she was like, man, if Johnny go fool with this dude might kill Johnny. When he killed Johnny, how we go, and I'm not thinking like that at the time.
You're 12.
I'm not thinking that. And so what I'm saying, man, the woman also owes the man to protect him too.
Yeah.
And so when Will getting down, hey Will, where you going? What you about to do?
She laughed.
Yeah, she supposed to say, man,
yeah.
what you doing, man?
Yeah.
Because now this man's legacy is tarnished. They talking about, man, they don't know the Academy. They have casted a whole investigation. Next year because from my understanding, whoever win the joint, they host the joint the next year. They talking about banning him. From now on out, whatever he done did, he considered the dude that smacked Chris Rock.
At the Oscars.
Not
only that, just like you said, but they talking about his movie deals. He got a movie production company.
Yeah.
And for you to have a movie production company, it's not like everything is out your pocket. Yeah. You got people who invest in. Right. So then now a lot of movies that he want to make might be cut. Yeah. Everything, his whole...
And the state can take over this case.
Man.
Yeah, the state can take and say, man, you know what, man, I doubt if they do it, but they got the option to do it. And so, man, over just being emotional for 1 second, but if that was my mother or my wife, if we get into, man, hold up, man. Nah, man, calm your bad ass down. She gonna tell me like we get in the car and nah.
Hey, man, you know what? I remember you told me that. And I remember I was like, man, that's deep.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real good, not a segue, but that's really important to who you deal with.
Man, listen, you see it all the time. Your wife come home. Man, this dude was in the market talking slick to me. Man, you was talking slick to my wife. Bloom, bloom, bloom. Now, you done took away income. He locked up I don't know how long. She hungry, the kids hungry. Like, you just gotta think. And certain stuff, man, if you go to, I can see if you go to a corner store that you go to on a regular basis, but if you go to the mall and you go to the mall every 3 or 4 months, what's the chances you going back into this mall and seeing this person? You kind of gotta weigh what positions you want to put your man into. Don't run home and tell them, because you got some women, man, they like ratchet stuff. Man, my man shot this, man, he did this, yeah, you want to stay away from that, man.
And that seemed like, it's funny. Somebody had a meme talking about this is
She's
why.
From Baltimore.
That it's funny. They said this is why you don't mess with a ghetto.
Yeah.
Nah, for real, that's a good point. Like most women, stand-up women, and I'm not, would say, wait, what you doing?
Yeah.
Especially at an event like that. Like, where are you going?
Hey, Tim,
she laughed after it.
I know I told this story before, but I was in McDonald's years ago. And this dude, when I went into McDonald's, this dude, big old dude, he was acting crazy. And I said to myself, I don't want no problems. Let me go over here. We went to the far lane to order our food. But my daughter, she's standing at the counter. So the dude come, man, I ain't want this on my sandwich, and reach over her back. Almost knocked my daughter down. I said, man, I'm gonna kill her. I started stealing. Bloop, bloop. Man, something snatched me up, champ. Yeah, something snatched me up. I said, man, I ain't seen no post. It's my wife.
Man.
Yeah, she. So when you're in a street fight, the first thing they tell you, man, don't grab nobody. But she don't know no better. She trying to protect me from getting myself in some trouble.
Yeah. This
is what real women do. You gotta think for your man sometimes when he don't think for himself.
Man, that's a good point, bro.
Okay, so I just want to shoot
them gray hairs ain't for no reason.
Yeah. Now, I see my mother do it all the time, man. Nah, man, it ain't even worth it.
Yeah.
So now, man, Slim, like I say.
So what's the moral of the story? You gotta break it down.
The moral of the story is, I feel like Jada, instead of being enough feelings and all this stuff, man, what alopecia, man, that's just like
Slim, I had a girlfriend. That ain't enough. I hate that women be like, she had aloe. It's little spots. If you a girl out date, man, when she gets stressed out, it's like it's not bald. It's like a little bald spot.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
And then on top of that, she always wear her hair low. I just thought it was a new hair. I didn't know.
She a tough woman. She look good.
Yeah.
I was matter of fact, I thought, and I know this could be my ignorance. I thought the G.I. Joe joke was saying that she was a strong woman. Like, you could play that role. You'll be good.
Man, I didn't see it to be.
Yeah. But the more the story for men is, to me, what you saying, man, make sure you got somebody who really in your corner.
Don't make sure, you don't jump out here and get yourself in no trouble. Man.
You don't want a woman want a lot of headache or you run around trying to be like a thug. You don't want that.
Yeah, and this thing is a made man. What you doing?
Yeah. I always felt. I mean, you told that to me, but that is a very strong point, man. Most women would get in. They would be like, "Man, what are you doing?" And stop you. At the Oscars, that's a good point. Yeah. So
And so I got one more joint for
y'all.
No, it's just personally, what do you think in hindsight Will could have did differently?
I said earlier, if you didn't like the joke, if your goal is I'm gonna stand up for my wife,
right?
You could have done it. And he's Will Smith. You could have done it backstage.
Right.
You could have done it at the after party.
Right.
You could have done it at any moment other than, like, there's a whole plethora of ways he could have handled it other than the way he handled it.
Okay.
And I'm a Will Smith fan.
Yeah.
I still don't agree with him what he did. Not at all.
Right.
Right. There's a ton of ways that you could have been more disciplined about the way you handled this if you felt like this dude was being disrespectful to your wife. Okay. And if you wanted to do it in a way where you wanted her to know that you were standing up for her, you could have just took her with you or did it in front of her or whatever. Right. But you know what I mean? Like, I could go quietly backstage and be like, look, Slim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And say what I gotta say and move on.
Yeah.
Right?
I got you.
So, I think there's a whole ton of ways he could have.
I just want to ask you, because what you just told me, a 10-year-old got more Smith than Will Smith. Because listen, when you in the 4th or 5th grade, you going to tell a joke, I'm going to see you at lunchtime. I'm going to see you at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, we scared all day. You know if you fight him in the classroom, the teacher going to get you.
Yeah, you used to hit him with those joints right here. You be like,
that used to be the joint.
If I hit him in class with my teacher, my mama gonna put me in. Man.
That was the joint after school. Everybody waiting for it.
Yeah, everybody waiting. Man, you know, such and such, you just been waiting to play with it.
Because you wanted that smoke, but you didn't want that trouble.
Yeah, you didn't want the trouble.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Tim? How would you with it?
How I think he should have handled it?
How do you think he should have handled it?
I think I think he should have I was gonna say something slick, like he should have never been there with Jay, but anyway, I think he should have, like O said, talk to him. To be truthful, man, I just feel like he should have just laughed and kept going with the show.
Yeah.
That's it. And if his lady have if his lady say later, like, I don't think that's funny, then, he can talk to his lady. But to be truthful, like, all that trying to stand up for over a petty joke that wasn't even a mean joke. Mm. Like, I seen jokers talk about jokers that were handicapped, and the handicapped person would laugh.
Yeah.
So I would have just laughed like he did.
It's comedy.
Yeah, it's comedy. And been like, man, that was funny.
Yeah.
You still look good to me. Like, I wouldn't have talked to, because Chris, that's another thing, is he knew Chris. And that's another thing why I feel like he looked so weak.
Yeah.
Because he attacked somebody who he knew,
His man.
smaller than him, all that.
Yeah.
To me, I just laughed and just kept it moving. And if Jada had something slick to say, I talked to her about it.
I forget. So there's the other part of this. I probably should have said this earlier. So I don't know if you're all aware of this or not, but there is like 2016. Jada is boycotting the Oscars.
Oh yeah.
Oscars So White, right? And she puts out a video saying that she's not coming to the Oscars because of her stance and, for black people, basically. And then in the process of that, she says she's very aware that Chris Rock has already been picked to host. So she says to him, they picked basically she's letting him know in so many words, even though I'm taking this stance, my stance isn't against you, or I don't have any hard feelings or any negative feelings around you being the host of the Oscars at this time. So she's basically addressed that. When he got to the Oscars during the host, he brings up the fact that she's hosting, that she's boycotting, and says Jada boycotting the Oscars is like Rihanna offer him some panties.
Boycott.
I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
So he took that dig, right, on stage after she had already basically show support to him.
Right.
Now they're back at the Oscars again, and then it's this. So all of that has context with part of it as well. So,
but they should have squashed that from the beginning. Then, he should have. If Jada felt some way, if that did, because to me that's not a cool move, especially if she go to him and say, "Hey,
I got your back."
I got your back.
Yeah.
Like that's not a cool move. But if that did happen, Jada, because they're grown adults, she don't need no man because he's not doing nothing aggressive to her. Jada should have said, "Yo, hold on, that was a weak move. Like, like I got your back." And because sometimes people don't know no better. She should have pulled him up. Yeah. And don't wait till later and she talked to Will and Will feels some type of way and Will feel like, nah, I still don't. It's no excuse.
Okay.
Anything else?
Man, I'm pretty much finished. You got anything you want?
No.
You good?
Yeah, man. I just think and it's hard, but I just think people, man, that like you always say, man, to control your emotions, man.
You gotta control your
emotions.
Control your emotions. Men think logically; they don't think with their emotions.
Yeah. And with violence and everything, you control your emotions, man. Yeah.
I will say this: this has been a week now. We're going into it. I don't have no more to say.
Week, man.
Yeah.
People got their own
personally. Me personally.
Yeah, I'm going about my business. I got
I'm done.
Real quick, Chris Rock, man. Get out the pool a couple of days, man, and go to the boxing gym. Learn how to bob and weave, man. You should have got away from that joint, man.
That joint came from
South Carolina. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Always give God. Man, you guys are so intelligent, man. I love getting with you guys. Man. When I think I got it, y'all always come up with a different spin on it, man.
I feel the same way, man. You really pulled. I think you pulled the audience up, especially men and women about getting with the right person.
You gotta look out for
your
each
best
other,
interest at heart. Yeah.
Man, in the neighborhood that I grew up with, I seen the women. Cause man, the women usually be the strongest ones anyway.
Yeah.
They do like the men out. When in these days they out working, the mother, man, she taking care of the house, she raising the kids, she doing everything. So man, they really the first line of defense. So man, they gotta look out for everybody.
Yeah. You
run tell your man, that man looked at me and said I had a big butt. You do got a big butt, man. You gonna get somebody.
Why you think we got all these kids out here?
Hey, Chad, I know from my own experience. There's so many people in the cemetery and in jail because, they just got emotional over a woman, ain't think. And man, we gotta think.
Yeah.
So So I'm out, champion.
All right, man. You know, mind, body, and soul.
My man.